Live from downtown Vancouver at the Vancouver Film School campus, it's time for EP Live. Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. And man, do we have everything cool personified in Sam Witwer as our guest today. He has been literally in everything cool over the years. We've got a lot to talk about with Sam, and it's going to be a blast. I have a couple things to remind you of, though. We've got the Glass Blu-ray contest. It always sounds like I'm talking about a Blu-ray that's made out of glass. It's about the movie. It's the M. Night Shyamalan movie, Glass Blu-ray contest. On our Facebook page, you can enter to win one of those at facebook.com/Electric Playground. And we are going to get started right now with your rundown, which is dedicated to Scott Howard, who says, I've been watching you since I was 10, which I hope was only like 5 years ago or something like that. Not a long time ago. But Scott, thank you so much for watching. Let's get started with your rundown. It looks like it's the shaky launch of Anthem hasn't moved EA and BioWare away from online games. The next Dragon Age game is rumored to be introducing online multiplayer elements and might even be an online-only game. That's according to a new report in Kotaku, which, citing unnamed sources at BioWare, claims that the new Dragon Age is being built with the same code base as Anthem, and as such is being made with the online games as service model in mind. Some sources claim that the plan is to make it an online game that will also let users play by themselves if they want a more traditional Dragon Age experience, but the report stresses that the project is still in the early stages of development, so things might change. Whatever it ends up being, it's likely still at least a few years away, so don't expect official details anytime soon. EA and BioWare cannot drop the ball with the new Dragon Age game. They cannot have another controversial launch. They can't do that with Dragon Age. People will not stand for it, and I really hope that all of these really painful and difficult lessons that EA and BioWare have been learning about Anthem is steering them back in the direction of making more single-player story-based games, which is what they excel at. That's what we want out of BioWare. That's why we love this company and this studio. You know, I don't think we're going to forget this one, EA or BioWare. If you're thinking we can place this one a couple of years away from now and everything will be changed and you can kind of sneak this one out, you can't do that. You got to make us exceedingly happy with Dragon Age. And I'll tell you what, I think BioWare that's what their mindset is too, and I think absolutely that's what they're going to do. I have faith in these guys. You know, they've had a couple of knocks with Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda, but it's still an incredible studio over there. Now, DC's Shazam had a big opening weekend, and you know what that means? Sequel. A follow-up to the new superhero adventure is already in the works. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the first film screenwriter, Henry Gayden, has begun working on the script, with director David F. Sandberg and producer Peter Safran also expected to return. No official announcements have been made, but don't be surprised if that changes soon. DC is also working on sequels to Aquaman and Wonder Woman, not to mention Suicide Squad 2 and Birds of Prey, while new films from their most famous heroes, Batman and Superman, have yet to be given green lights. We do know that the Batman movie that Matt Reeves is working on is coming, and I think we'll probably hear lots of news around Comic-Con and through the summer and maybe leading up to Joaquin Phoenix's Joker movie. I'm very happy for the Shazam crew. I think they killed it with the film. I wasn't happy about every single choice in that movie. I didn't really love all of the kid stuff, the foster kid stuff at the beginning. I felt like it was a little too forced. But I really liked Zachary Levi as Shazam. I think he did an awesome job, and he was so funny, and there were lots of great moments in there. It brought me back to loving Greatest American Hero back on television back in the day. Nobody knows what the hell I'm talking about. You guys remember Greatest American? Who remembers Greatest American Hero? Anybody? Like 2 people? Okay, yes. No, I love that show. Oh, they're singing the song. That's amazing. Yeah, I love that show, and I think that Shazam captured a lot of that magic. It was great. So I definitely want them to carry on, and maybe they get a little more than that less than $100 million that they got to make the first movie, and they just beef it up with new effects, and probably The Rock as Black Adam, so it will be monstrously large, this sequel, and the expectations for it. Now, over on the small screen, a different kind of comic book adaptation is leaving the pulpit. The TV series Preacher, based on the Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon comic series, is coming to an end. AMC has officially announced that the upcoming 4th season of the show will be its last, and that shouldn't come as too big of a surprise. Preacher has seen a drop in ratings and almost didn't get renewed at all, so at least fans will get a final season that wraps up the story. It's also worth pointing out that the Preacher comic series only consisted of 75 issues, so the show doesn't have an endless amount of source material to draw from. The fourth and final season premieres this August. I've seen only a couple of episodes of Preacher. There are a billion shows on the air right now that I am fascinated by, interested in, or addicted to. Sam Witwer, I think, is in all of them, which is kind of crazy. He's got roles in all of these shows. But Preacher was cool what I saw. I guess I, at this point, wait for the whole season and the whole series to wrap up, and then I deep dive and binge it all when it all hits Netflix or something. I love the fact that Seth Rogen is one of the guys behind this show, and I forget the guy's name that stars as Preacher. What's his name? Anybody? Bueller? Nobody knows. He was Howard Stark in the MCU movies. Oh, Dominic Cooper. He's a great actor, and he does a great job there. So I'm happy for the cast and crew. They know when it's ending, which is always a good thing. That means they can kind of, aim for that bullseye and try to finish the show off strong. But I have to admit, I'm way behind on my Preacher watching. All right, let's talk about video games now. You don't need to use the Force to get a new look at the next big Star Wars game. Titanfall and Apex Legends developer Respawn Entertainment has dropped a brief new look at the upcoming Star Wars game Jedi Fallen Order. They've released a teaser image that shows what appears to be a broken lightsaber above glowing runes with the caption, "Don't stand out." This tagline makes sense given the game's setting and characters. It takes place between the events of the prequel and original trilogies, with players taking the role of a young Jedi Padawan on the run from the evil Empire. The first gameplay from Jedi Fallen Order will be shown off at Star Wars Celebration this weekend, and the game itself hits stores this fall. This is a big one. This game could have been called Star Wars Redemption from Electronic Arts. And I don't mean to say that they made a bad game with Battlefront 2. Sam Witwer's in that, by the way. He's in everything. I'm telling you. But I really enjoyed Star Wars Battlefront 2, but of course we know that there were problems with the way that game was launched. But Respawn has been killing it with Apex Legends. Of course, they are an EA-owned studio right now, and EA has got to put their best foot forward with the way that they're being received by gamers out there. And Star Wars fans who were really rooting for the stuff that both Amy Hennig and Jade Raymond were working on, and then suddenly, nope, those aren't coming, and they're all changed. So there's a lot of pressure and hype and expectation on this team and this game, and we're going to see all kinds of stuff about it on Saturday, and I can't wait. Respawn is one of my favorite developers in the world right now, and like Titanfall 2, when that came out, that was our game of the year that year. You guys know I love that. These guys know how to make action games, and presumably they'll know how to use force powers and make something super, super fun. And don't be surprised if our guest, Sam Witwer, has a role in this game, which he cannot tell us about.